have, Ventus, we only have 3 teams that have been eliminated throughout the entire, Nemesis Gaming League. So, eh, pretty much almost every single team, if you're a part of them or if you're a fan of them, they're in the running right now except for 3 of them.
Yeah, and I mean that just shows like kind of how competitive each league has been. I know Titan, I mean the top of Titan is 7-3 and the bottom is 2-8, and everybody's in that middle ground. There's 3, 4, and 6 teams, 2, 6, and 4 teams. They're just so close together. It's so hard to separate themselves. I know Novice is also very, very close. There's a lot of that middle ground. You could even steal a playoff spot, and that's why these matches are so important coming at the end of the regular season. We're going to see a lot of divisional matchups once again. All these teams are going to be playing each other in their division, and those are going to be some of the best matches because a lot of these teams are in the same division as each other, or they're in the division with another team that is looking for a playoff chance, and those matches are very, very competitive and very great content to watch for us. So I mean, we can start talking about our amazing match today that we have, where we get to see Speed Demon once again in the Rooks against the Gladiators. And I mean, both of these teams have been on an absolute tear. I know that the Rooks have won their last 6 games straight, which is absolutely insane to me. I mean, Speed Demon putting up some amazing stats during that time as well. He kind of picked it up. I know he's top 15 on like every single stat category now, and top 10 in some others. And so he's been a great help to this team. I know that the chef 98 also picked up some steam, and he has been phenomenal for the Rooks as well. And I mean, I don't want to keep talking so much good about the Rooks because the Gladiators as well. Man, the Gladiators have been on a tear ever since they swept Origin on stream. It looks like they just can't be stopped.
Yeah, they really can't. And, they have Vokes here, which is an insane pickup there. Vokes is always a really good player here, and he was challenger last season. He's prospect this season, an absolute goaded player. We have banned this one too, which is a funny name in itself. He is number 3 player rating wise in prospect. So we have a top 3 player here, and then of course we have, as you mentioned, we have Speed Demon. He's a top 15 player. And then we have the other stats that you mentioned with Speed Demon and Chef. Chef and Speed Demon are all over the scoreboard when it comes to stats. But you know what, Ventus, we're about to start. Here we go.
We are kicking things off. Another great game, or another great night of Rocket League. Here comes game number 1 between the Rooks and the Gladiators. The Rooks getting a pretty good kickoff here. Wolfie gonna get a clear away, but Speed gonna get a nice catch. Gets bumped for his efforts. Vokes able to pick that one up in the midfield. Able to get a shot as well. Kind of a miscommunication between the Rooks and the Gladiators. Gonna kick this one off with an easy 1-goal lead.
Oh man, still continuing that momentum, going 4-1 in their last 5 series. You mentioned that the Rooks were on a hot streak. So are the Gladiators here, and they're starting off early here, 1-0 early.
Yeah, and the Rook's a little bit awkward out of the gate. It looked like Speed kind of rotating back, didn't get a bump on Vokes, which his teammates were playing off of, and that gonna be a pretty easy capitalization from Vokes being how good he is. But Chef gonna look to create some momentum on this one, trying to pop it into the midfield, ban this
If we
one. Gonna be on that one first. Hello?
Oh, I thought we saw a potential Rule 1 there for a second. Sorry, I was going to cut in there, but it looks like they were able to bounce out of it. So, but here we are. We got the Gladiators pushing on offense. Wolfie getting it onto the front half here. Crimson and Speed kind of double committing for that save there, and now it's in front of the goal. Is Band this one actually gets that one in, just flipping towards it, being the bigger car there.
Is my mic working?
A little bit of a bump there by Wolfie too. That was a good bump there by Wolfie to on that defense to try and keep them at bay. And 2-0 here early on. Gladiators are starting out strong, Ventus.
Yeah, definitely starting off very strong as Gladiators kind of creating a lot of opportunities with these bumps. A good bump by Wolfie in the net, and Vokes with a good bump on the challenger as well, just to open up the scoring and allow the Gladiators to propel themselves to a 2-goal lead. And it looks like the finally Rooks able to show some signs of offenses. This one gonna be cleared away by Ban this one, but Crimson able to get a good 50. Wolfie gonna get a 50 of his own, but it's right to the midfield for Chef. Chef elects
Ooh.
to leave it for Speed. Speed puts it off the backboard, not able to put that one on target, but able to keep generating some pressure as he was able to get that corner boost. Almost a redirect by Ban this one, but Crimson gonna block that one away. And some more offensive pressure coming out from Gladiators as Vokes gonna find a little bit of a hole in the defense and put that one in the net.
Yeah, the defense right now is very lackluster here for the Rooks, which is very surprising considering you got both Chef and Speed Demon here in the top 15, more technically the top 12 with Speed Demon and tied for 12th here. But the defense is definitely not into play right now early on in this game one. And I don't know if it's stream jitters this late in the season. I wouldn't think so, but who knows? That's always a thing. But right now, you got to get it together. Try to turn this game one around and at least start getting something going.
The Rook's rotation seems very out of whack, as you were saying, as this one might be another shot. Wolfie not going to put that one on target. Speed not going to be able to get that read, and Vokes going to get a little bit of another open net, and he's going to get a hat trick and propel the Gladiators to a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, speed there. Just I not. I understand that positioning myself because you don't know where that thing is going to bounce off that backboard, that crossbar. If it's going to just bounce down, if it's going to bounce in, bounce out, whatever. And speed was just caught in an awkward situation there, unfortunately. But now, what you need to do, you still have about half of the game to go. You want to at least try to get some sort of momentum going here if you're the Rooks, and continue to try and get goals and the offensive pressure going, just like what they're doing here. They're doing it pretty good. They're causing some I would say double commits and some panicking on the Gladiators. But here we are. The Gladiators were able to send it out.
Gladiators seem very comfortable on defense, very calm, cool, collected, as the Rooks kind of a little bit more panicky. Hopefully they will be able to settle in as this game a little bit out of hand. There is still 2 minutes remaining if the Rooks can get something going, but Ban this one, going to get a very strong clear into the midfield. Wolfie getting a beat on Crimson as the
Uh-oh.
last man back, as well as a bump. Not going to be able to put that one on target, though, as Vokes looking to create some offensive pressure, likes to fake it and then get a 50. Crimson gonna have to take this one up, but Wolfie gonna get first to this ball. Speed clearing this one away, kind of getting rid of all that trouble. Looking for a pass in the midfield. It's coming off the back wall. Bump coming out from Crimson, not gonna connect there, and Chef gonna have to play that midfield presence and collect that ball in the midfield for the Rooks. Speed gonna try to get some offense going, but gonna be cleared away by Ban this one. A double commit coming out by the Rooks, and this could be dangerous as it looks like Wolfie trying to clear the one away, but it's going to be stopped in the midfield. Some good cuts from the Rooks, at least during this final minute entry of game number one. They seem to show a little bit more signs of life as they're controlling the midfield a little bit better. They aren't. I say they aren't double committing as much. They still are double committing a little bit, but almost a shot coming out from Speed Demon Crimson. Gonna put this one off of the corners. Ban this one. Gonna get a nice clear away, and a bump coming out once again on the side of Gladiators and Speed. Gonna have to kind of cover his teammate there. Gonna have to just clear that one away. Not gonna be able to find this touch. It's gonna go back into the orange half. Chef gonna look for a little ceiling shot action. Gonna put this one around one defender, looking to stay with it. Pops it once, looking for a shot. Mike gonna put this one on target. Not gonna put this one on target. It's such a close shot, but with 30 seconds remaining, it looks like this game number one might be a little bit over. Gladiators maybe getting one for the road here. Is that one going to be off the post and out? But Gladiators very dominant in game number one. Rooks leave much to be desired, and we hope that they can, clean up some of those rotations coming into game number two.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that I'm definitely noticing is they're giving the Gladiators a lot of space, and that would have been a goal pending time there. But the Gladiators are getting a ton of space, and it goes with the rotation there, right? The Rooks need to tighten that rotation. They need to challenge the Gladiators make those 50s happen because those are extremely important when it comes to the prospect league here. You know, you get a little bit more consistent with the ball. It's not always, but when you're going up for that as a prospect player, you're going to see some whiffs and some misses there, and you're going to see double commits, which we saw a lot of from the Rooks. Now they were improving that just a little bit towards the end, but really they need to get more aggressive on offense, start doing the bumps that we saw the Gladiators do. And when that happens, they are going to be able to pick it up. They're going to be able to pick up that speed because it's going to make the Gladiators very uncomfortable, and that's what they need.
Yeah, and hopefully the Rooks will find an answer to this Gladiators offense as well as they were able to generate a lot of double commits with their bumps. Maybe some more communication is needed from the side of Rooks, but hopefully that will be fixed going into game number 2 as hopefully we get to see some more content. We get to see the Rooks showing signs of life. They did look much better at the end of game number 1. They were able to stop the bleeding that the Gladiators were able to force and all the goals that happened in the first half of game number 1. Chef getting a nice 50 into the midfield. Speed Demon going to be first on this one. Takes it up the wall. He's looking for a pass out into the midfield. Gonna have the pass, but not gonna be capitalized on. His folks able to get that one cleared away. Ban this one a little bit awkward in the corner. Chef trying to muscle a 50 through Crimson. Gonna look for a pass off the backboard, but it's gonna be caught away by Wolfie. A little bit more aggression from the Rooks here as they're able to create some offense, but just as I say that, a long clear into the midfield gonna help relieve some of that pressure. Speed looking for a potential sidewall maybe as he's gonna get the double, not gonna put this one on target. Looks like a double commit coming out from the side of Rooks. Gonna be communicated that Chef is going to take that one. Crimson's going to leave it. Potential shot coming out from
Oh,
Speed, and that one going to be pinched away. A great save from Vokes as he was able to pinch that one off his own teammate, but the aggression is not stopping yet as Chef looking for a reset. Gonna get a
oh
double
my.
into the midfield,
Oh,
and Speed gonna actually be able to put that one home. A great double touch there from Chef, and I mean, a great play overall.
yeah, that was a great team play. Crimson had that fantastic 50 in the air there, able to get it back to Chef. Chef getting it to the center there for Speed, and they were able to score that goal. And that's exactly what we were just talking about there, Ventus. Pick up that aggression and pick up the momentum there. Oh my goodness, as it barely goes in there. I don't know how that managed to go in that way because I think they were panicking a little bit. The Rooks did there, but the Gladiators, they answered right back.
Even though the Rooks were able to generate so much offensive pressure and put one in, it seems like one mistake there on the side of their defense, and Gladiators going to capitalize on that one as a great shot coming out with the awkward defense is just going to put the score back 1-1 and allow the Gladiators to get back into this game. Chef gonna try to keep this one possession on the back wall. Gonna try to get a pinch away and not gonna get past Wolfie, but Crimson already on the back wall as well. Not a great touch as it's gonna go back out in the midfield, but no one there for the follow. Volks playing a very far back third man. Looks like he's gonna look for a pass to ban this one. Ban this one up, looking for a double tap, and
Oh,
he is gonna sink that one home and give the Gladiators a 2-1 lead.
oh my goodness! What a team play there by Vokes and Ban this one with a beautiful double there off the backboard, and uh, the the Rooks still look lost on defense, and that's where they need to clean up the most right now. If they can continue that pressure that they were doing on offense there, then they need to do it on the defense and clean that up, and then they'll have a much better opportunity to be able to take at least one game away from them right now as Chef sends it away. But Wolfie gets a demo there. Voke's going to try and just, I thought he was going to pop it up there, and Crimson with the insane save there as they're almost triple committing there.
It's never what you want to see for the Rooks on the defensive side is a triple commit. It looks like Speed not able to get a read on this ball. Neither was the Gladiators attacker Wolfie. And this one's going to be 50 back out into the midfield. Vokes going to be first to this ball. He's going to take it for a dribble on the wall. Gets a flick past one. Chef going to have to try to clear this one away. Ban this one. Looking for another shot on target. It's actually going to be a pass to Wolfie. And Wolfie going to put that one home to give the Gladiators a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, now the thing I'm starting to notice as to why they're having the trouble on defense is the boost, they're gone. They need to figure out a different way to manage their grab boost here, because gladiators are starving them, and that's kind of the reason why they're struggling so hard on defense here. So they need to figure out some sort of defensive rotation to include some small pads here and some additional potential big pads to go with it. But right now, they need to get on the offense right now if they want to try and get back into this game.
They've been suffocated in their own half for a little over a minute now, as Speed not able to find a clear. Ban this one. A great pass out to Vokes. Vokes going to get a beat on one, looking for a 50. Does get it. Wolfie's going to be first to pick this ball up. Leaves it off the backboard for Ban this one. Going to be put back up to the backboard, but Crimson going to be able to clear this one away. And we see once again the lack of boost from the Rooks. Really feeling that aggression. Speed trying to get a shot on target. Not going to do so, as that was a great attempt of a solo play, just not going to find the back of the net. Crimson looking for a shot of his own, not going to be able to put that one on target with such low boost. Speed going to have to try to pick this one up in the midfield. Gets beat by Ban this one. Ban this one. Looking for a beat on Chef as well. Crimson last man back. Going to have to get a good clear. Vokes going to pick this one up in his own corner. Doesn't get a good 50. It's going to leak out into the midfield. Speed not going to be able to find that, as he's going to be blocked away. Another shot attempt coming up by Chef, but it's just above the crossbar. Speed kind of giving the ball away back to the Gladiators defense, and Wolfie is just going to take his time, take the little possession, get a good demo. Vokes passing it out into the midfield. Crimson's a little bit awkward, does get the clear, but it's right to Wolfie in the midfield. Wolfie getting a little touch onto the sidewall, looking for a second touch in the corner. It's going to be cleared away. A double commit coming out. A bump on the last defender. Ban this one. Trying to look for another bump, but no follow-up from Vokes, as he was sitting as a hard third man, as he did not want the Rooks to get any more goals and try to even up this scoring. Speed looking for a shot of his own. A great pass coming out by this Chef.
Hold up.
And Speed able to put that one in. There's a chance, Mallow.
Oh, there's definitely a chance, Ventus. We got 23 seconds. Anything can happen in that 23 seconds. And um, I'm still not liking what I'm seeing from the Rooks on defense, especially. They really need to figure out their boost management here. But right now, they got to go on the offense here, not the defense. They need to throw caution to the wind here, if you will. Nice little bump there by Speed, but didn't really help. And Rooks, do they get it? No, they don't. Not yet. We got 1 second left. Last chance. And Gladiators send it down with the 50. Match point.
Unfortunately for the Rooks, that is going to put them one loss away from a sweep, and their momentum seemingly going into this game completely shattered. Gladiators really in control, looking for a fourth sweep as well in the last 5 games. And I mean, I wouldn't be able to blame them. I mean, the Gladiators have looked very good on both sides, offense and defense. They've been able to diffuse all of the pressure, hold on to their defense and wait for these overcommits from the Rooks, and then obviously capitalizing a bunch on the offensive side of the ball. They've been able to just make the Rooks super awkward, steal the boost, hit great double taps, as Ban this one was able to do earlier in this game. And I mean, that's kind of been the difference, is just the Gladiators have been able to stay more calm on defense and really held on, and they haven't had many double commits, if any, whereas the Rooks have really struggled, not only communication wise and boost wise, but just rotationally on defense. They have not looked like themselves, and that might just be how the Gladiators are playing it. It might just be forcing them into super awkward spots. But as we go into game number 3, Rooks versus the Gladiators, Mallow, what are you kind of hoping to see from the Rooks?
The Rooks, we definitely got to see more passing plays for sure. Send that ball across the field here. Send it across the pitch. Get it above that defense. Make them reach out for that, because you're not really challenging them. And on top of that, I'm not seeing much in the way of bumps and demos, as we just saw there from Crimson. But we really need to see some aggression on offense. I think that's really been the biggest thing here, is the aggression on offense has not been that great. And then when it comes to defense, Now their defense has been pretty okay. However, their awareness is not that great, and that's where it's getting them, is because they're getting bumped and they're getting demoed without any uh, issues there from the gladiators, any punishment. And I think that's kind of where it hurts them the most. But right now, we're seeing the Rooks starting the way they did game two, very aggressive, which they had the bigger shot count, the higher shot count, the previous game there, out shooting them with three more shots, but they couldn't turn them into goals, and that's the key factor right now, Ventus.
Definitely. Hopefully, the Rooks will be able to, take some of your advice and maybe look up on those passing plays and the demos and that aggression on offense. Hopefully, they're able to clean up on that defense as well, as they have shown a lot of offense potential. As the chef going to get a read off the back wall and put that one right over the last defender to give the Rooks a much needed lead.
Well, I didn't specify how the passing plays should be going on, right? I didn't say it had to be a single person. Ideally, it would be multiple people involved in a team passing play, but sometimes there is an I in team, and Chef proved that there. He made a fantastic solo play there and put the Rooks here on top somewhat early on, as Chef gets another goal with Speed Demon. I believe got a good pass up there, and they did exact. I think they're doing exactly what we were talking about. Those passing plays, getting those out of the reach there. That's exactly what happened there. Banned this one, tried to go for that one, thought he was able to get it, and the Rooks were able to capitalize on it. So now they're up. I won't say early, but they're up pretty soon here on game three, which they absolutely need to try and come back into this series.
Let's hope that they will be able to build off of this lead once again, as they struggled after going and scoring in game number two. It seemed like the Gladiators had an immediate answer, so we'll see if the Gladiators have their own answer to this debacle. Is a good clear coming out from Wolfie. Speed Demon gonna have to play it. Goes towards Crimson. Crimson not able to get a touch though, but it's going into the midfield. A long clear coming out. Speed gonna clear that one back into the Gladiators half. A little bit of a redirect coming out from the chef. Crimson gonna be first to this ball. Looks like banning this one, trying to pre-flip block. Crimson not gonna be able to get
Uh
a
oh.
touch, but Speed's gonna be first to this ball in the midfield, and maybe a little bit of a calculated leave from Crimson. Is Speed gonna put this one in the back of the net to give a 3-goal lead?
Yeah, and the one thing that you'll probably notice too is that the Gladiators aren't starving the Rooks now with the boost. I'm seeing a lot less boost on the Gladiator side, and the Rooks are able to build up a little bit more boost, and that's kind of what I've been talking about. But even then, one thing you want to do is you still want to try and, oh my goodness, what a pass there from Speed to Chef. And this was the duo that I was looking at in stats that has been absolutely insane. And 4-0 here. Um, I think the Rooks are awake now.
Yeah, they might have been taking your advice a little bit. I mean, they have 3 assists and 4 goals to show for it, so maybe some more passing plays. I think they might have tuned into the stream and just heard what we were saying that they need to work on, and instantly fixed all of it. So I mean, we can just congratulate ourselves for our amazing analysis, right, Mallow? But the Rooks seemingly a completely different team than they were in games one and two. We saw a little bit in game two as they were able to create a lot of pressure for the opening minute, but this is the first time where we've really seen the Gladiators struggle, not only on defense, but in the midfield, not able to get
Uh
their
oh.
own clears. That I'm going to eat my own words here, as Vokes able to get a great read off of that backboard touch and put that one in the back of the net. Crimson a little bit too awkward to zero boost on the backboard.
Yeah, and I started to see it there at the end. Like one thing I can't harp enough on. Like I tell my team and anyone that I play with, in the novice league, grab the small pads. They actually matter more than you think. Don't try to always go for those big pads. And so sometimes Prospect League is prone to that. As, oh my goodness, Chef got a little bit of an assist there with that goal there, but Chef getting his fourth goal of this game, 4 for 4 here in this game three.
Yeah, and Vokes just saw how good of a clear that Chef was able to get, and said he wanted to help put that in. You know, just a little bit of a mystery. And unfortunately, can't do anything
Oh,
about that. But this is an open net here for the Gladiators. This is a great pass coming out from Ban this one to Vokes and Vokes Wolfie, and Wolfie able to put that one in the back of the net to cut the lead to 3. And we wish that Vokes wouldn't have owned gold that one. Make it a little bit closer of a game, but this is definitely a start in the right direction for the Gladiators.
oh yeah, absolutely. And it's still not over. We still have a minute and 30. There's still plenty of time. A lot of things can happen during this time. So you can't say that it is over yet. But you got to look at how the teams are playing and how aggressive they're going to be here. I imagine that the Gladiators are going to get super aggressive, or at least attempt to, because you're basically trying to do anything you can at this point to go ahead and lock this series up. But as each ticking second goes by, you are losing that opportunity to get that game 3 victory here, as Speed Demon just straight up steals a 5th goal from Chef here as he just sits in the goal. And I'm glad I don't do fantasy stuff, because I would have been angry at Speed if I had Chef on my team.
Yeah, well, I know Speed has himself in fantasy, so I know that he's probably he's looking out for number one, which is himself, and uh, the goal, as long as it goes in the net, they probably don't care as the Rooks just trying to find some momentum. They finally do here in game number 3, and they've looked much better. They've been able to generate a lot of offense. They've been able to catch the Gladiators out from being super aggressive. As it looks like
Oh,
Vogue
okay.
just gonna give another own goal to the Rooks and give Speed his own hat trick of the game. And I mean, that's just, I don't even know what to say about that one.
Do we need to check to see if Vokes is in the fantasy league and see if he has Speed Demon? Because I feel like that might be intentional there. But no, the at this point, if you're the Gladiators, you want to try and make sure you can at least get one here for the road to try and potentially, put get that momentum swung in your favor. But the way it's been looking, I don't know if that's going to happen. I can see Ban this one has kind of gave up here, um, which yeah, as you can see. But the Rooks getting game 3 and potentially starting. We'll see what happens here, but they're still on match point. They got a lot of work to do here. Rooks getting 7 goals to 2, 11 shots. The thing that does stick out to me though, um, the thing that does stick out to me though, Ventus, is that the saves were almost non-existent on both sides, right? And that's going to be a huge part into this next game here. Whoever can keep that defense up here in uh, game 4 to try and prevent any sort of tilting that we saw here in game 3. Um, that's going to be crucial, I think, especially for the Gladiators. They can't let that game get to them.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems like Ban this one kind of took the mental reset, hopefully, and he's all ready for game number 4 and looking for the Gladiators to kind of slam the door close on this momentum from the Rooks. The Rooks obviously trying to build off of what they did in game number 3, where they're able to generate so much offense. Both these teams seemingly very reliant on their offenses and the offense capabilities, and not a lot of defense being played between these two. I mean, high octane offense is all the content these days, and hopefully that'll be another great match. As Speed looking to take this one, tries to get it in the midfield, but it's going to be cleared away by Vokes. Crimson going to get a pop, looking up to go for an air dribble, goes for the double touch.
Oh,
As a potential read, it's going to be touched by Ban this one, but it's still in the midfield.
oh no!
Third man commit coming from the Rooks, and this one could be a dangerous opportunity for the Gladiators as Ban this one, putting it off the backboard. Wolfie not going to be able to get that shot on target as Crimson's going to save that one away. Chef catching this one, kind of awkward. Vokes gets a decent 50, but it's going to go back into the midfield. Wolfie first to this one, gets a double touch, going to
Oh,
put that one on target right around the last defender and give the Gladiators a 1-goal lead. And I mean, very great play coming out from the Gladiators. Good response for what happened in game number 3.
yeah, absolutely. And one thing I definitely noticed on the Rooks defense there is that I don't know if they're trusting their teammates too much, or what, but they tend to leave the defensive part of their rotations very quickly when someone tries to go for the ball, and it leaves them out of position here. And I think that's probably a lot of what's been going on. But I just finally noticed it here in this game where they're being extremely aggressive, and you'll have at least one or two other players moving up field for them, and it's actually a hindrance to him, as we kind of see there where Speed Demon, unfortunately, well, he had full boost. I couldn't see how much boost he had, but he got caught on the corner there, and the Gladiators, they're answering strong here in this game 4.
It's a great shot by Ban this one off of a even better pass from Wolfie, I believe, and that one gonna put Speed in such a awkward position. He's not gonna be able to get that touch with Speed. Gonna try to turn things around as he's trying to get it clear, looking for a bit of an air dribble. Not gonna be able to follow that one on his own. Crimson gonna have to pick that one up. Banks it off the corner, looking for a pass, and a little bit of an overcommit potentially there is Crimson not going to be able to get a great touch. Speed going to have to bail that one out. And
Hold
Wolfie,
up.
as last man back, has to make
Ooh.
a diving commit. Going to get that perfectly, though. To ban this one, trying to make some work of his own. Wolfie, a potential shot on net, going to be saved away by Speed Demon. Looks like a potential
Uh,
roll one coming out on the side of Rooks. And that one's a little bit awkward there, and a little bit of a misrotation once again from the Rooks on the defensive side of the ball. And we've seen that time and time again this series, as the Rooks do not look very comfortable on defense, and they look like they are too willing to commit players on offense. As that one gonna be cleared away from a bit of an overcommit as that third man. Once again, a great save coming out by Crimson. Putting in that work so far, having 3 saves to his name, really solidifying the Rooks, making sure they can't really concede much more than they already have. Speed gonna try to pick this one up in the midfield, as he's gonna get it past Ban this one, looking for a 50, gets a beat on the second one. Chef's there, puts it off the corner, and that one gonna go just wide, and that's a much needed shot and a much needed goal for the Rooks, and unfortunately that one's not gonna come to fruition.
Yeah, it didn't, but there's still, I won't say there's plenty of time, but you're starting to act a little more cautious on what there is left here in this game. As Ban this one gets a nice little touch past the defense there, and you kind of would think you have a little bit of urgency as Speed plays it slow there. It was actually a pretty good setup there. Unfortunately, the defense just straight up read it, and the, the Rooks, they need to do something here. Oh my goodness, that 50 was almost bad, and they need to do something here. I would say within the next 20 seconds or so. Otherwise, this series may be without out of reach here.
Seems like game number 3 might have been a blip in the radar for the Gladiators. They seem to have locked stuff down. Their offense looks so strong right now, catching the Rooks out of rotation, and their rotations are being super awkward, forcing the Rooks to play constant defense, as the Rooks having to accumulate 9 saves already with only a minute left. It seems like it's the Gladiators' game to lose, as Ban this one, electing to just take some time, kind of a little bit of a troll there, as he is just kind of messing around, making sure that he just ate time off the clock. But Speed Demon gonna be there, and it seems like that plan by Ban this one backfired, as Speed Demon was able to get a goal, and the Rooks were able to capitalize very quickly.
Yeah, it was a good team play there by the Rooks. Every single one involved in that. It was a little bit more than a minute left, but this is still plenty of time for them to try and tie this up and potentially send this to overtime and or game 5 here. We'll see what happens. But Vokes getting it past the defense there, or sorry, trying to send it past the defense on that save. But right now, the Rooks, time is their enemy.
It definitely is. Clock winding
But
down.
hold
Speed
up.
puts a great shot on net, and that one gonna tie up the scoring with only 25 seconds left. And crazy things happen in Forbidden Temple. The Rooks come to life late in game number 4 and show that they are not out of this one yet.
We are at Forbidden Temple, ladies and gentlemen, and this is why we do this in Game 4, because so many crazy things will happen, and we are not done yet. We have 20 seconds left, and the chef popping it up. Rooks double committing for this. You definitely don't want to see that. and that's going to leave probably a 2v1 or something here, I would think. But it looks like they were able to get back. Crimson sending it back. Now they're just playing a little bit of ping pong, but I think we're going to go to OT here unless something crazy happens. And there we go, Ventus. We're going to overtime here. Game 4. The game or the series is on the line for the Rooks, and both teams are in the playoffs very happily right now. They're both 8-6, but this win here would put them at a much higher seed potentially. And you definitely want that going into the playoffs and play-ins.
Definitely. Anytime you're able to go just a little bit higher, make your matchup a little bit better, it's always better to do so. And we will see whether the Gladiators are able to finish out
Uh-oh.
the series as Chef getting a good pop, but an even better save by Wolfie. Crimson gonna be first to this ball. He likes to take a 50 with Wolfie. Takes another one in the corner. Vokes gonna pick this one up. Speed, a little bit of a dive, but Chef is able to be there to cover. A double commit comes out from the side of Gladiators. And it looks like the Gladiators gonna break out of their half for a second, ban this one, looking to play this ball. Gets demoed for his efforts by Chef in the defensive half. Chef gonna pick up this free ball. Gonna be dove on by ban this one. A great block. Wolfie gonna be first to this ball. Looking for a double touch off the corner. Not gonna find it. Speed gonna clear that one away. But the offensive starting to mount for the Gladiators. A good pass attempt coming out. But it looks like the defense a little bit out of whack for the Gladiators. Wolfie having to dive across net and make that save. And we see some back and forth pressure coming out from both the Gladiators and the Rooks. It looks like Wolfie finally gonna break the stalemate in the corner. He's gonna get a clear away. Ban this one. Also going to need to clear this one. Crimson looking to pick this ball up in the midfield. Just trying to take his time. Vokes is on him. Vokes going to get a dive. Get a clear into the Rook's half. Speed having to clear that one away on his own. Looks like Speed trying to get it one, but going to be cut by Ban this one. Ban this one still in the ball. Gets a good pass to Vokes. But Vokes going to be blocked once again. And a bunch of 50s coming out in the midfield as they're trying to establish some pressures. Chef tries to just pop a little shot on target. Crimson going to be there for the follow-up, but Vokes going to be on that one. But a close shot coming out by Speed Demon almost finds a hole in the defense. Wolfie going to have to clear this one away. Vokes having some time on the ball here, looking to go for a solo play. Going to be instantly dove on by Crimson. And that one going to be very awkward. Both Gladiator members, zero boost. Chef going to get the dunk on ban this one. And the Rooks take the overtime victory. And we're going to a game 5.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe that just happened. Wow. What an incredible sequence there. And we're going to game 5 here. That just shows everything when it comes to uh Forbidden Temple here. Just absolutely insane things happen here. And we got all the marbles now in game 5 after that crazy overtime game 4, Ventus. The shots, 16 shots by the Rooks and 15 shots by the Gladiators. The defense was there by both teams. The Rooks had a couple more saves than the Gladiators. They had 3 more saves. They were 12 saves versus 9. It was just an insane game that was 100% goal participation by the Rooks and 100% goal participation by the Gladiators there. Like everyone was involved, which is definitely what you want to see there as a fan of either team. Being able to see that gameplay this late in the series going into game 5. Ventus, what are you telling your team if you're the Rooks to try and keep that momentum going, try and get them into this game 5 and complete the reverse sweep?
I would just be saying, hey, we got this. They're the ones who are starting to feel the pressure. We've taken the last 2 games. We're forcing the reverse sweep. They're the ones that gotta be fearing us. I mean, we just played so well in that time. We won a very close overtime game. The momentum's all in our favor. We just need to keep it up, play our game, and really just show out. I mean, that's all we gotta do. And it looks like a little bit of a misrotation is an own
Ooh.
goal coming out from Crimson. A very awkward exchange from the Rooks players as Speed, not a great touch in the midfield, and that one going to be capitalized on the Gladiators. And I mean, now if you're the Rooks, you just got to say shake it off and reset there. But I mean, a good play nonetheless from the Gladiators, able to capitalize on the mistake from the Rooks. And we saw this in games 1 and 2 where the Gladiators were able to take an early lead But in game number 4, we saw that Rooks were able to come back from that. It will be a time will tell situation. It's
Oh,
a great pass coming out from Ban this one. Vokes trying to get a touch, runs out of boost. Not a great
uh-oh.
clear. Chef gonna put this one towards the blue or the Gladiators half, but it's gonna be a great save by Ban this one. But the
Oh, that's
run
in.
isn't over yet. Crimson gonna slot it into the top part of the net, and that one gonna tie up 1-1. A great shot over. It looks like Vokes to the last back with 0 boost. A little bit of an overcommit. None of the Gladiators members had boost at all, and the Rooks gonna equalize and make a very much needed score.
Yeah, Vokes definitely thought that was going to hit the crossbar there. Yeah, I don't know if his teammates were there to try and communicate that that was not going to go in, but that's another crucial thing that some people may not realize here when especially when it comes to novice and prospect, is those extra set of eyes to read those shots to say, yeah, that one's going to hit the crossbar. Say, wait a moment, or jump here or whatever. Do that communication to prepare for what is an obvious miss from a different angle, because that can be extremely crucial. And I think we saw that there.
Definitely might have been a miscommunication on the side of Gladiators, but the Rooks gonna happily take that one as they're looking to create some more offensive pressure. But a good 50 by Wolfie gonna clear it into the Rooks half. Speed Demon looking a little bit awkward in the corner. Chef gonna have to clear this one out. Keeps the possession, which I like a lot, keeping the possession on that back wall, not throwing it away, but it looks like the Gladiators gonna regain that position anyways. A good demo in the midfield, actually gonna open up some space for the Rooks to break out. But once again, the Gladiators gonna steal that one away, and they're still playing a little bit of defense as they haven't been able to fully break out. Vokes finally able to get a good clear, but not going to do much with it, as Speed's going to be able to keep it in the orange corner, or the Rook's corner. I keep forgetting I have the forced default car settings, but Crimson gonna have to respect Ban this one. Speed on the ball, looking for a good shot, but
Uh,
kind of works as a fake, as Speed has to kind of cover that angle. Speed looking to take this into a dribble. Gets a good 50 into the midfield. Ban this one, not able to get a touch. A pass back to Speed. Speed almost top corner, but not going to find that one perfectly on target, as it's going to hit the post, go out. And now the ball is back onto the Rook side, as Speed Demon having to get another clear. Being able to stay on this ball, looking for a second touch, does get it. Chef able to get a dunk. Speed gonna be first to this one as well. Tries to get a 50 on Vokes, but Vokes gonna be able to stay on this. A
oh
double
no.
commit coming out from the Rooks. Chef is back with
Oh
0 boost.
no.
That one's gonna drop in off the crossbar, and it looks like the Chef might have own goaled it a little bit as well, maybe helping out the Gladiators.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate touch there by Speed. I'm not sure why he decided to go for that one, but the own goals have been killer on both sides here, and this is one that's more important than any of them right now, especially if you're on the Rook side of things, because this is basically for everything for this series right now. Try and complete this reverse sweep, and now you've kind of own goaled it, giving the lead to the Gladiators. Now you got to try and figure out something to get yourself back into this series, or into this game, I should say.
They're gonna have to figure something out relatively soon, as you do not want to go into the final seconds down a goal. Hopefully they're gonna be able to claw this one back, as they were able to in game number 4. There's a good clear into the Gladiators. Have a great pass to Crimson. Crimson, a
Oh,
shot gonna be saved away by Ban this one. Speed gonna have to try to keep it in the corner, looking for a pass of his own, but it's gonna be going directly to Wolfie. And that Crimson gonna have to pick that ball up in the midfield. Ban this one. Gonna be first to this. Gets a clear over Crimson, but not past Chef. Chef looking for another one. Maybe a drop off the backboard. Does get it, but no follow up there from the side of the Rooks. Speed looking to put a shot on net. Not going to be able to touch that one, as he's going to leave it for Chef. Wolfie, a good 50 on that shot. Speed still in the corner, looking for a pass. Gets it past one. Everybody's
oh, what a
committing for
bump.
this ball. A great shot by Crimson. An even better save by Ban this one. And the Rooks sending everybody onto the offensive side of the ball. Chef trying to get another shot. Not going to be able to get that reset. His Speed popping this one off the corner, steals the boost, looking for a demo, does
Oh,
get the
demo.
demo. There's 0 boost on the side. Crimson, a great block on the clear from Wolfie, and we're tied once again with 45 seconds left.
Oh my goodness, what a demo there by Speed Demon. That sets up everything. And I don't know, I guess Wolfie was trying to time it with him having no boost there, but that goal was wide open essentially. And what a great 50 there to get that tied goal here with about 40 seconds remaining. I could see Speed Demon picking up the demos here in this last like 40 seconds to try and open up more opportunities as he just did there. Um, yeah, as long as you're not trying to be like predictable in this last 30 seconds, this is what you want to do. You want to throw everything kitchen sink, if you will, at this, but be unpredictable at the same time.
See if the it looks like Speed maybe potentially getting a shot there. The Rooks trying to close this game out. Both teams struggling to try to clean this series out. A
Oh, that's not
pass
good.
coming into the midfield. Chef gonna have to get a clear away. Gets a dunk as well. That one's gonna be very good. And we're gonna go to overtime in game number 5. Back and forth series. The Rooks able to claw back once again and force OT. And Crimson gonna put this one off the corner. It's gonna
Oh,
go.
it's
Is that on
in!
target? That one's gonna bounce off the post. But Crimson put that one back in himself, able to read the bounce off the post and
Oh my
able to
god!
secure the win for the Rooks. And oh
No
my
way!
lord, the Rooks able to complete the reverse sweep.
Oh my goodness. I am at a loss for words with that. That is incredible there. Great job by the Rooks, never giving up. That is the epitome of Rocket League right there. Do not give up. Play until the game is completely over. That's exactly what the Rooks did there. And Speed, Chef, and Crimson there showcasing why, number one, Speed is the player of the week last week. Chef being part of the duo with Speed Demon, being the top 15 in like goals, saves, assists, all of the stats there. Great job by the Rooks. But you know what? Let's talk about this Gladiators team. They played their hearts out. They did a great job there, but unfortunately, they just came a tad bit short.
Such a heart-wrenching loss for them, losing overtime game 4, losing overtime game 5. I mean, they played so well. They had such great moments. They were able to generate so much offense and put the Rooks in such a weird spot. But unfortunately, they just lacked the clutch factor there, and they just weren't able to put either of those games home. They're able to give game 3 to allow the momentum for the Rooks to come back in, and the Rooks kicked the door open. uh, were just absolutely insane. After the game number 3, they were able to just always come back, always put themselves back into the series, no matter how far they were out. When they were down 2-0 in game number 4, they were able to persevere their way back into the game, and they were able to bring that one home in game 5. They are down 2-1 with just a minute left. They're able to claw their way back into that one, and I mean, absolutely insane from both sides, and definitely a great match to have to kick off, the stream today.
I don't I wouldn't want to follow that series because that was a great series. Oh my goodness, that was fun to watch, fun to cast. I know it was probably very stressful to play for both sides of that of the ball there, but at the end, the Rooks got it done. An absolutely huge victory for them for the postseason coming up. I know the Gladiators would have loved it more because I think it would have meant more to them to win. But the Rooks, they won. Congratulations to them. Hats off to them. But Ventus, we're about to go into the upper echelon of Rocket League here. Very, very much in the way of big time playoff implications coming up here. And the records don't seem like that's the case, but I can guarantee you it's going to be a banger, and I can't wait. Who do we have coming up again?
Dragons versus Nebula, both teams kind of fighting for that just edge of the playoffs. Nebula sitting at the 5 seed, Dragons at the last seed of the playoffs at the 6 seed. And I mean, it's going to be a great match. We're going to have to take a short break, but we will be right back. You do not want to miss this next match.